Hello and welcome to another video. I'm back with another vacuum cleaner demonstration, and on this occasion we're going to be doing a continuation of my Miele theme. I've done a few strip downs of a couple of canisters on my last couple of videos, and I thought I know I've done a video of this a fair while ago now. I think it was way back in 2014. And that was when I was doing the videos when the camera was constantly up on the top there. So what I decided to do is I'm going to remake a few of those, and we're going to start with this one here. Now this is the cream of my crop in my collection. It's my favourite upright cleaner. This one is the Miele. It's their only upright. They've been going with this upright now since 2009, and as I say, it's a very long-running machine. It started off as being called the S7, and then it became, as from 2014 onwards, the dynamic U1, which I think stands for upright one. So obviously it's their only one. I don't like the way that Miele have done their new naming system. I prefer the old way. All this C2 complete and C2 compact, C3 complete and C1 compact. It's all very confusing. As far as I'm concerned, I prefer the old way they did it. As far as I'm concerned, this will always be known as the S7 to me, even though it is the U1 now. That's just their new name when they slightly reduced the wattage of the motors. Now, as for the new rules that came in this month, September 17, where they said that all vacuum cleaners sold in the EU must be a maximum of 900 watts now, I don't know what's happening with this machine. I'm assuming it might well be discontinued. I don't know at this moment. All will become clear in due course whether they're going to bring a new upright out. It's needed now, to be honest with you, because this has been going for some time. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's not really a bad attempt at their first upright. But their main criticism with it was that anybody that had to pick it up, I mean, it's like picking up a Kirby. It really is a heavy machine. It's what, nearly 10 kilos that is, with all the cable and everything attached, the hose. But at the end of the day, it still cleans extremely well. And I'll do a little demonstration a little bit later on. I will put some oats down, I'll put some corn flour down, I'll put some bulgur wheat and some particles on the floor there, and we'll test to see how well it agitates the carpet. So, in the usual style, I will get the camera off and we will have a look at the machine in closer detail. Okay, so this one is finished in, I believe, it's called Garnet Red, this one. It is the second from top of the range, and it features the headlights, which are down here. They're LED headlights, and then it features the swivel neck. Going up here, it's called the Auto Care, and this one, being the earlier model, is the 1800 watts. The U1 dynamic, I think, was a maximum of 1600, if not 1500, so they only reduced it very slightly. This one features the LED light panel on the top, and I'll show you that in a bit working. It's got your on and off controls on the handle here, so you've got your main on and off switch there, and this switch here basically decides whether the bush roll is spinning or not. So it's a two-motored machine. You've got a floor head motor in the bottom here, and you've also got the suction motor in the bottom as well. So you can either have one on independently of the other for going on hard floors, and that is something that the Sebo X4, which is my other favourite, lacks. It is not very good for me on hard floor, and that is why this machine takes the crown. It's better than the Sebo X4 in the fact that you can turn the floor head off for going on hard floors. Right. On here we've got the bag full indicator, and just inside, if we open the front, and we can see our Miele U type bag. That's very, very easy to change. All you need to do is pull it down and then pull it out of the dock. As simple as that. And there we can see that bag is, I mean, it's about a third full now, because I do use this machine. At the moment I'm not using it because I'm having a direct air month this month, where the Kirby's and that are being used virtually every single day. But normally this would be downstairs, and I would use it as a daily driver. In the back, down here, is the pre-motor filter, and that just pops out of there. That's basically an emergency filter in case the bag ever bursts. But being a Miele bag, it's very, very rare that will happen. So you've got the tube going down the back of there, which goes to the motor. Basically, what Miele say is that you're supposed to replace this every 4 bags. And in your pack of bags, you get a new one of those. So to fit the new bag, we're going to just... I'm using the same one as before because it's pointless having another one in. That bag has the flap on the top there, so it seals when you take it out. So we're going to slide it back into the dock, like so. Push it up. It doesn't matter if it drops down slightly, because when you push the front door closed, it automatically pushes the bag up to engage. So now all we're going to do is push the door closed, and that's how you would change the bag. It's very simple. Right, okay, going round to the back. At the top here we've got our cable. It's a top entry cable, so there's none of this where it enters down the bottom and you're tripping over it all the time. It enters at the top of the handle. You've got a 10-metre cable on this machine. It's very, very long cable. The bottom here flips round like so that we can take our cable off. So it's a quick release cable. On the back here as well we have our stretch hose. It's quite a long hose. It's good for going up the stairs, but they are quite fragile, so they don't need to be overstretched because they can be damaged, and I've seen that a few times on eBay where the hoses have been overstretched. So we can take our wand out here like so, and if I just put the camera down on the side here, the wand is able to be fully extended as we need to, and it's an aluminium wand, so it's very, very light. That is. I'll just put that back in. What we've got here now is the standard Miele dusting brush, which is a very, very good dusting. I love this dusting brush. I use these all the time on the cylinder cleaners as well to do the above floor cleaning. They're an excellent dusting brush. The top of it will rotate, so you can have it at different angles on the end. And it's a proper bristle brush. None of this plastic bristles. You're paying for quality here. It's a Miele. Okay. That fits back in there. And then on the Miele as well, we have a full length crevice tool. It's the first time I've seen a full length one, because on all their cylinders they always supply a very stubby crevice tool. So that fits on. Actually it goes round the other way. And clicks in. Everything clicks on a Miele, as most people know now. You've got a click fit here on your hose. Everything clicks into place just nicely. So we can just pull that down. Going down the back here, we've got, this is a blockage port. What you do is remove those 2 screws. That'll give you access there to the air paths, so you can get down here and you can get up there, because any blockages in the floor head could be slightly tricky to get out if they were further down. You'd probably have to use a coat hanger to try and get the obstruction out. I've seen a few on these on eBay where the owner says they've been blocked up and they've been unable to unblock them. So unlike the SIBO, I think this is a bit more tricky to get blockages out of the floor head down here. Now we can see the 2 wheels on the back of there, and what happens with those wheels is that when we press the recline pedal here, well, I've just got my finger, you press it down, and then what happens is those wheels go right underneath and make the cleaner very, very manoeuvrable. Okay, so basically it lowers the back down and it's able to be swivelled around pretty much as agile as the Dyson ball. I know it hasn't got a ball, but and when you push the handle back up, you can see as I'm pushing the handle back up how those wheels pop back out on the back again. It's very similar, that is, to the Dyson ball as well. When you put it upright, the wheels snap back down to hold it upright. And it's a very complex mechanism underneath, and it's quite fragile, so you need to be careful with that, banging it over thresholds, that you don't damage it. Right, now, what I'm going to do now, we'll just turn it over and have a look at the bottom. Right, so what we got here is the basic floor head. Now, this brush roll, to me, looks very, very similar to what used to be in the old Miele Revolution floor head. If I just show you that, because I've got it down here, that is the floor head you would get on the Miele Revolution, or the 5980. It is the SEB236 power head. It's the one that features the light on the front. And before this came about, this floor head basically represented the top of the range when you bought it with the S5. In America, I believe it was called the Capricorn, and in the United Kingdom it's called the Revolution. But the actual brush roll in here, if I lay those out, we can see that brush roll design in there is very, very, very similar to the brush roll that you get in the S7. If you notice the similarities there. So basically what happened is they discontinued the Miele S5 Revolution with this floor head in the United Kingdom, okay, shortly after they introduced this upright, because I believe that this was going to take over from this. Now, they still sell this in the United States, and I believe they've reintroduced it in the United Kingdom for a short while with the S8 model. The Electro, I think it's the C3 Electro Comfort Premium, or there's some version of it that included this floor head. But personally, I think they're very, very similar brush rolls in there. Now, on the bottom of the S7 it features the rotating wheels, which make it very, very manoeuvrable. And you can see there with the machine reclined, fully reclined, how the back wheels have gone right down into the floor head and locked into the down position. So it's making it very, very manoeuvrable, and you can twist it round because it features the swivel neck. That also is able to swivel from side to side as you're going round, and you'll see when I do the demonstration of how that works. You've got your floor pedal here, and when that's pushed down in the recline position, that automatically has a micro switch which turns the motor on, which drives this. Okay, if you've got that switch on the top set to carpet, that will automatically come on when you recline the machine and start to spin. Now, if you've got a blockage in here, it is possible by removing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws to remove that sole plate to get your blockage out, but it's complicated. It's very complex. This one here you can also take apart as well, but I think, you know, you've got access there. You can see right up there where the dirt channel goes, and I think it's pretty much the same. The dirt channel is just up here, so you'd find it very difficult to get any obstructions out of there without taking all this sole plate off, and that would give access as well to the belt. Now on this machine it's a toughed lifetime belt, which should never need changing, because what happens if you hit an obstruction which jams this brush roll, it can sense that and it shuts off the brush roll motor to protect this belt. So there's none of this stretch belt business where every year or so you've got a stretch belt and the brush roll won't go around, you've got to keep changing it. This is a lifetime belt, and it's the same on this machine as well. That's a lifetime belt. It's a tough belt, very, very similar, and I wouldn't mind betting it's exactly the same motor in here as it is in there as well that drives this brush roll. There you've got the let me just get the camera around the other way so we can see that label on the bottom. So that's a 7510. It's an 1800 watt, made in Germany. Okay, and that number on the top, 00/9402, I think that's 2009 week 40 as the production date. That seems to be how they generally go. Let me see if there's one on the bottom of here. No, there isn't the one on the bottom of that one, but I think that machine's a 2009. It's a very, very early model. It was an ex-demonstration model when I bought it from the shop, and I bought it in 2012, so it's been on their shop floor for a little while, and I got this for a substantially discounted price. Let's turn it round. Right, on the front we've got our filter, which on this machine is a standard filter, and we just pull it out like so. So we've got the filter grill, and in order to change it, we would just open our grill like this, and it's a Miele Air Clean standard filter, just like that, and you get one of those in a pack of Miele bags. Right, you get one of those and one of those pre-motor filters as well. So we can change that every 4 bags basically, and we just put it in like that, and we slot it down like so. Now also, there's the bags there. Okay, in the United Kingdom they're called the high clean bags. It's a type U, and they're the green collar bags. They only fit the uprights. They're a 6 litre bag, so they're very big, but they do tend to smell after a while when they've been in the cleaner for quite some time. I mean, I got these, they say £14 on there, but they are actually around about the £10 mark now. I've had these for some time, so I believe they were actually reduced when I bought them. But they do contain 9 layers. You can see those there. Very, very good filtration to keep your machine very clean inside, and it's really recommended very strongly that you always use these type of bags with a Miele cleaner. You use their high clean bags. As for the filter, right, now what we can do with this machine is to replace that filter there, the exhaust, and we can put a Hepa filter in, which is this here. That is the S7510. It's quite old filter now because I've had it for a while. And what that basically is, it's the Hepa filter that you can put into there and make it Hepa compliant. And the way we do that is very simple. Open our box, we get it out, and that's the filter there. The old ones like this would contain an active charcoal layer on the bottom, and there's our paper filter there. And we would just simply open the front, remove the old one, and slot the new one in, like so, push it back and close the door. That's now a Hepa machine. So we're taking the old filter out, and we'll just leave that one in for the time being. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to plug it in. So, when we turn the machine on, I'm going to switch it on here. The lights on the panel will come on at the last power that the machine was used at. In this case, it's the second setting up. Or we can go up and down by pressing the plus button, and down with the minus button. And that's the minimum. There's an automatic function here, which the machine automatically detects the suction that you need on your carpets. This is the filter change light. That comes on every 50 hours to tell you to change the exhaust filter. That there is the Brushroll Jam Light. You can see that there. That comes on if the brush roll's obstructed and flashes red. So you need to turn the cleaner off, remove the obstruction, and then turn it back on. And this triangular symbol with an exclamation mark in it is the overheat light. So if you're using it with a blockage or the bag's full and the motor overheats, the whole thing will shut off and that light will come on red, and you have to wait for it to cool down then before it will come back on again. Similarly, that can come on red, solid red, if the brush roll motor overheats. So then you've got to leave it to cool down. So it's quite a clever machine really. You've got quite a lot of warning lights and instrumentation on the top. On the bottom we have our LED headlights. So that's the machine overview. Let's put some dirt down on the carpet. Well, it's not dirt really, it's particles that I'm going to put down to see how well this agitates. I'm going to turn it off just for now, move this out of the way, and we'll sprinkle some large particles down first, which is porridge, some oats. I shall sprinkle some brown rice down, which represents heavier sort of grit particles. And then I'm going to sprinkle some bulgur wheat down, which also represents like gritty, heavy particles. And then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of corn flour down as well. Not a lot, but this is going to represent fine dust. Okay. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the camera down onto the carpet level. And we're going to see what type of agitation we get on those particles. So let's go. And then we'll have a general clean with it afterwards. I've put it on automatic. On the side. And we give the carpet a quick clean. we're going to do, we'll just quickly use the turbo brush on here because my pussy has very, very generously donated some pet hair. So we'll just get the turbo brush out. Okay, there we go. So, from that, I think we can see that the Miele is a very, very good cleaner. It's very quiet, it's very efficient, and it really does agitate the carpet, which I would expect it to do. And it picks up anything that you can throw down in front of it. So this machine, basically, is, as I said before, my favourite upright of all time. This really is the Rolls Royce of vacuum cleaners. If you can afford one, and these do crop up now quite a lot second hand, and they are well worth the money, but you've got to look after them because they do break, and they won't stand to being harsh treatment and knocked them out. The paintwork on the front is quite easily damaged and chipped, and already I've made a few marks on the side of mine where the paint's been removed. So you need to be a bit careful with them and show us a bit of respect, and always use the right bags, and it'll be a really good cleaner. These are supposed to last a good 20 years according to Miele. I doubt that very much with the way people use vacuum cleaners and the way they treat uprights. The amount of these I've seen on eBay where they've been absolutely wrecked because people have knocked them about. They've put the wrong bags in them, blown the motors up, damaged the wheel mechanisms on the bottom. But you know, essentially, I've had this machine for several years. I do use it quite regularly, and I would really, really, really recommend a Miele upright to anybody that can lift one up, because they are heavy, but they make up for that by being excellent.